welcome back to How to Hunter, Heroic Hunter Raiding Guides. This week we are facing up against Ultraxion, 10-man Heroic, and you'll be pleased to know that for the most part this is exactly the same fight. There are a couple of differences, but for us we get to stand still all of the time and we just get to nuke the boss, so that's pretty nice. So let's go through what is different about this fight and how you can tackle it, and of course how you can look at improving and maximising your DPS. Okay, so the first main difference is that on Hour of Twilight, on 10-man, you need to have 2 people that stay out of, or rather stay in the Twilight. So of course on this fight you get an additional ability on the additional ability bar, which takes you out of the Twilight and into the normal realm. It's essentially like a shield that you can use for any abilities in the Twilight. On the Hour of Twilight that you can see coming up now, you need to have 2 people that stay in the Twilight zone. The rest of the team would use their extra action button as the normal mode, and they would go out and everyone would be fine. Okay, so that needs to happen every single time. So let's think about how that's going to work. What we normally do, and you can probably, if you've got this video in a high enough res, you can see in my little chat bar on the bottom, what our team did is we set up a little rotation so that each time there would be 2 people that would use an ability that would allow them to mitigate all of the damage from the Hour of Twilight. So as a hunter we have Deterrence, which is on a 2-minute cooldown, and basically that means we can take every 3rd Hour of Twilight. So you'll be called to do that at some point. The other difference is that Fading Light, which is coming up now, is applied to 3 people instead of 2 in 10-man. So again, you'll probably get this more often than in normal mode in looking for raid. I think only the tank gets the Fading Light. So you would, if you've only done looking for raid up until this point, you will have never had to have used your extra ability button to pop out of the Twilight. In Heroic, you're probably going to have to use it quite a lot, and that's a bit of a pain because it's a big detriment to your overall DPS. Okay, so that's it. That's really the 2 differences that we have in Heroic mode. So let's talk about maximising DPS. There's not a massive amount we can do here, and I've read a lot of guides about how different hunters and different guilds tackle this particular problem with DPS. In fairness, we did this, I think we did it first before the 5% DPS buff. I might be wrong, I can't remember. I think we did. And we didn't have any problem with DPS. So, but I've seen that some guilds have been kicking off with Bloodlust or Heroism or Time Warp at the start of the fight. You shouldn't absolutely need to do that. Especially as I'm recording this video, 4.3.3 has gone live, so you'll be getting a 10% DPS increase on the boss. So if you've got this far into Heroics, you shouldn't have any problem with this encounter without popping Heroism at the start. Okay, so what can we do really to maximise the DPS? What I would say, and there's only one real trick that you need to do here, and that's when you pop Deterrence, when it's your Hour of Twilight, it's your turn to use your damage mitigation. Pop it like maybe 1 second before Hour of Twilight actually procs, so you can see the timer up on that I've got on my screen. So I'd press my Deterrence literally 1 second before that. That's going to put you out of action for 5 seconds, so that's quite bad. Obviously you're going to miss potentially quite a lot of damage. So what I would do is I would set up a macro that will cancel your Deterrence, and I'll put up the macro that you can use there on the screen at this point. If you want, you can just right click on the buff that it gives you, but you'll find that a macro will help out a lot more. And you know, that's pretty much it. This fight is so simple. So in terms of how our guild did, we pretty much face rolled Morchalk. the first week, or second week of Dragon Soul, because we cleared it in the first week like most of the guilds on normal mode. And then we really struggled on Yorsage and Morchok. We were doing them in order on heroic mode, let's be honest about that, and that's not necessarily the best way that you can approach Dragon Soul. A lot of guilds have gone from Morchok straight to Ultraxion because it's a much easier fight than bosses 2 and 3, and equally Hagara is quite a bit easier as well, but I'll cover Hagara next because it's a bit more complicated than Ultraxion. But yeah, there we go, that's Ultraxion. It's pretty simple. Hopefully this guide has been useful for you. If you've got any questions or any tips even, because you know I'm not going to say I'm the best hunter in the world, but I do okay. But if you've got any tips or questions, please leave them in the comment field below. And as always, please leave me a like or dislike, and of course the old subscribe button's there as well. Okay, we'll see you next time.